Very happy and excited. I have Evgeny Afineevsky here with us with Culture Focus magazine. And I'm very excited to talk to him about the amazing documentary Francisco, which premieres on March 28th on Discovery Plus. So Evgeny, the first burning question that I have for you is, how did you get access to the Pope? I mean, it's a very hard access to get. And what was the experience like for you?
When initially I came to Vatican at the beginning of 2018, I met with the people who already were familiar with my work, but nobody promised me the interview with him. And then, like any other filmmaker or any other journalist, I started step by step looking for opportunities to establish this relationship and build this relationship. And then step by step I did it, and step by step I created my ability to meet him and to sit with him, and I captured the essence of this human person through my movie. So that's how it was. But it was a long journey. Today we can openly say that the project took 3 years.
Well, that's amazing. You hustled and you found the door open and you went right in, and here we are with an amazing documentary on the other side of it. And what's really cool about it is that it was done during the pandemic. And then we get to see the Pope in the midst of this chaos and pain and suffering, and it gives hope. I actually watched it right at the right time, and it was very inspiring. Were there any challenges during the film, during the pandemic, and with Pope Francis?
I think challenges exist in every project from the beginning till the end. And like you said to me, how you made access, it's a challenges, and you as the filmmaker finding the ways how to achieve your goals and kind of find the ways through these challenges to achieve it. Same with the pandemic. I was traveling during pandemic. I've been sick with COVID twice, and I've been filming, I've been editing, I've been doing full post-production. I even opened the movie at Rome Film Festival in October, literally in the middle of pandemic, a live festival, one of the, I think it was the last festival in person with the red carpet, with the cinema in 2020. One of the few, I guess, also, because pandemic started at the beginning of the year. Immediately after Oscars, everything was pushed away. So I guess, like Pope Francis said, trust the God and trust the process and be patient.
Patience and perseverance, and then you persevere at the end. I mean, speaking of October, some of the topics in the film were very controversial, like the Pope speaking in terms of the LGBTQ civil unions, and they created some drama in terms of the news and the coverage. Did that bug you in some way? Was that intentional, or did you expect that reaction from others?
Actually, I was surprised with this reaction because it's not was a new subject matter. Pope Francis or Cardinal Bergoglio or former Archbishop of Buenos Aires voiced the same stand over and over to many people. He is about inclusivity. And I think over and over and over, he repeated this sentence that, hey, we should create a civil unions laws to protect these people. He never said to change the doctrine, or he never spoke about the marriage, but he standing on a simple message that we need to protect people who have non-traditional sexual orientation. And that's his stance. He wants to protect people against discrimination. He wants to protect people against discrimination, allowing for these people to have same equal rights with any other couple. Medical benefits and all other things, all other protections. And that's why maybe this sentence had different misinterpretations. And I guess misinformation came because nobody was able to see the movie. That was misinformation speculated and flew across the globe. But at the same time, I'm glad that right now Discovery bringing this movie to the entire world, and people can see exactly what Pope Francis said. And not only that, I think it's beautifully crafted in terms of testament to his actions, because some leaders speaking and some leaders doing. And Pope Francis is a man of action. And I think the evidence that he is caring about the couple that are raising their kids proves that he cares about every human being, no matter of the color of the skin, no matter of the race, religious beliefs, or sexual orientations. He wants to protect every human being against discrimination or anything else. And that's why civil unions under any country's laws giving these protections. And that's what he's standing.
Absolutely. It maybe, like you said, misinterpretation and misinformation can lead to different outcomes. And hopefully we clarified by seeing the film and getting the message across.
I recommend to everybody watch the movie, because that's the best testament of one man's power to bring a change and to inspire us to do this change, either on the front of climate change, refugees, migrants, to coexistence, his last trip to Iraq. So I guess that's the testament. And I think for us to watch this, learn something, and then rethink our actions and being inspired by his things, like you've been inspired after watching the movie. I think that's the whole premise of this call for action movie.
Absolutely. And he comes off as this warm individual, a very down-to-earth human being, and you would expect from a leader like himself to be almost hard to approach. But he comes off as very friendly and caring and just warmed my heart. So it definitely opens up a more humane aspect of him. Were you ever intimidated working next to him? Did you ever see the other side? What was it like being next to him and just watching every move of his and documenting it?
I think you just stated this, because he is humble. You're not intimidated at all. You not have even superiority when you are next to him. You're feeling a friend, you're feeling a brother, you're feeling a father who is trying to kind of bring all his children, all his family members from across the globe, unite them despite their differences in the color of skin, race, despite their different religious beliefs. Father who is trying to comfort all of us and say, hey, let's stop destroying our home because we can lose this roof. Let's stop trash. We put trash everywhere in our home. Let's be all together, support each other. Let's work towards our goals, our achievements together. And that's the beauty of him. You're not feeling any kind of intimidation next to him. You're also not feeling any superiority that you can expect from the leader of the church or leader of the country. No, you are feeling so comfortable next to him to talk about anything. And that's the beauty of him. And you just said it on your own because that's what you sensed from the movie. And I guess me as a filmmaker who've been with him, who exactly saw it and tried to translate it into through lens of my camera to translate it into the storytelling in my movie, I achieved this because you read it and you learned this and you felt the same way like I felt next to him.
Which means you projected exactly what you felt into the audience and we got the message. Absolutely, 100%. And so do you feel changed after the film in some way? Do you feel like your perspective on the Pope and the world in general has changed as a human being and also as a director?
Yeah, for sure. Because the inspiration for this movie came because I witnessed so much atrocities, so much disasters around me. I guess Syria, with all the journey into the darkest side of humanity, my previous movie, Christ from Syria, made me to start to search for hope, for love, for humanity, because I was suffering from trauma, from post-traumatic syndrome of the war that every soldier being on a warfield suffering. And I was looking for this hope. I was looking for love, for humanity, for ability to be human back, to see humanity back among us. And I think the ability to be on a journey with Pope Francis, to see certain spiritual paths. And I'm not a religious person, but I do believe in God. And I'm Jewish, I'm not a Catholic. So to see this humanity in him, to see this ability to welcome every human being, to try to teach us that we are still humans and we can make a change to our lives, to save our lives. I think it gave me hope. It gave me ability to believe in the future. It gave me so much amazing lessons that I learned. Like I said, one of important things he said to me, Evgeny, always trust the God and be patient. And you know what? I am impatient person. I won't say now and that's it. But I learned it. I learned trusting the process. I learned a lot of things through him. And that's beauty. To be more kind, to be more loving, to listen more, to be open to embrace certain things. And you know, it's not often we have leaders that are able to admit mistakes. We as humans sometimes so full of pride, not able to admit mistakes, and seeing a person who is taking upon his shoulder all the failures of others and able to say, I'm sorry, in trying to improve people's lives. For example, in Rakhine, when he met Rohingya refugees, he asking forgiveness on behalf of people who destroyed their lives. That's amazing to see how he's trying to comfort them. And then 7 or 8 months later, when I was again interviewing them, I learned how much improvement they had in their lives. And following the path of all the sexual abuse that started in front of my eyes with situation in Chile, and then seeing how literally in a year, so much changes happened. You know what, it's amazing to see the human being who can bring a change, even being by himself, trying to bring a change and inspire us to do this change. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like you said, he takes responsibility for a lot of the mistakes that were done in terms of race, sexual abuse, tortures, problems, pains in the world. And it's a lot to carry on one person's shoulder, for sure. Do you ever see, or throughout filming, do you ever see the Pope breaking down? Do you ever see moments where, you know, we see him almost as he's handling really well and he's strong, but are there moments where he's weak and he just needs, you know, hope, inspiration, someone else to turn to? Of course, God is one.
I think he's a man of prayer, deep prayer. And for him, it's essential thing. And I think when he searching for an answer, he prayed. He prayed, he prayed, and that helps him to find the answer. He always trying to connect to Holy Spirit, to the Father, to God, and that's how he's searching for the answers. He is a deep man of prayer, I guess, and that's the amazing thing of Jorge Maria Bergoglio or Pope Francis.
And the film seems to uncover a lot of issues, but like you said, you're Jewish and you're documenting a Catholic person. It's almost like you're blending or you're eliminating the border that exists between religions. And as you know, and as we all know, religion is one of the main reasons for a lot of catastrophe and war and problems when people don't see eye to eye. Do you think your film could change that in some way and unite us a little bit better in terms of religion and faiths and beliefs?
I think so. And that's why I'm showing him endorsing the interfaith dialogue, endorsing the coexistence, endorsing since his days in Buenos Aires. And I think that's the important message that he just delivered to the world, despite the pandemic flying to Iraq. He delivered this by taking the most riskiest trip in a life and going into the war zone just to prove that we can coexist together. I think that's a remarkable aspect of this human being. And I think in a movie, I'm paying attention to all these elements, trying to not only to show this, but just to prove that it's working. And I will give you another example. When I did a movie, Winch on Fire, Ukrainians Fight for Freedom, I witnessed coexistence. People from different faiths came to Maidan. Leaders of different churches were praying next to each other for the elevation of spirit of the people who are standing on Maidan. So remarkable unity of all this interfaith dialogue on Maidan with the just atheists together achieved the victory. So that's the beauty that I learned on Maidan in action. I saw it in reality that it's working. So I see why Pope Francis paying attention to that, going either to Abu Dhabi or right now to Iraq. He is trying to unite all the children under one roof. He's trying to unite the entire human family together, no matter of the race, no matter of the color skin, no matter of the sexuality.
Absolutely. I would say that one scene that I found part of the movie quite touching for me and almost sad and very emotional was when we're used to seeing the Pope with hundreds and thousands of people waiting for him to speak on the balcony, and now, I mean, of course, during the pandemic, that wasn't happening. It was empty. It was just the Pope sending his message in a different way with no crowd. I mean, how was that like? It must have been a total, I guess, a total shock for the Pope, and even for you as someone who knows, if that makes sense, who knows the effect of the Pope on people in person, and now all of a sudden it's so gone.
I think this scene of empty square resembling for me a doomsday, because St. Peter's Square never empty, always people.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Pope there, it's a millions of people, like you just said. And all over the sudden, you see rain, you see dark clouds, you see this type of the doomsday. And Pope in his white dress, like an angel of light, walking alone through the steps of St. Peter, which looks true a doomsday and end of civilization. And then we're realizing that, yes, that's the red line and a sign to us, to human beings, believers or not, that there is a moment in history that we're living right now, that if we will not stop all the disasters that we created, and many of them you can see in the movie, majority of the global disasters you can see in the movie, if we will not rethink what we're doing to ourselves, if we will not stop victimizing ourselves, the human race will disappear. And the Pope will be walking through the St. Peter's Square alone, like we're seeing him there. So in order to avoid this movie makes us to stop everything and rethink. Are we want to continue being victims of our past? Or we can rethink every action that we've done until today, creating these disasters, human catastrophes, wars, inequality, abuse. We will rethink, stop it, throw all these bad actions into the past, and with really good deeds, changing our minds, we will march into the future, kind of being inspired by him. And then we can become heroes of our future. And then St. Peter's Square will be again full of people. So I think in a simple way, it's either we continue being victims of the past, or we can still be heroes of our future. And the choice is given to every viewer who watching this movie to reevaluate everything. And I think that's what means this scene for me.
That absolutely gave me chills. I mean, I'm sure it gave chills to everyone else listening. So what would you like to say to the audience in terms of where they can find more information on the film? We know where they can watch it on Discovery Plus, but if they're still not sure and they have questions, where can they follow, where they can follow you as well?
First of all, everybody can go to simple website. It's francesco.film or francesco.movie. And they can find all information where they can watch it. It's our website with a lot of information on it. So it's again, francesco.film or francesco.movie. And they can find anything. And I'm on Facebook, I'm personally on Instagram, and people can learn about this and about all other things that I'm doing. Because for me, this movie is a true call for action. It's an advocacy, it's an activism, and it's action, call for action for humanity to wake up and stand for our future, for our kids. So people can follow me on Instagram, people can follow me on Facebook, people can go to our website and reach the production team again, Francesco.film or Francesco.movie. And the most important, people can go to Discovery and watch it and learn something and start to think differently in terms of spreading love, seeing hope, believing in coexistence and interface dialogue. And I think that's the most important thing for all of us in these days, being united. And like you remember, last sentence of the movie that Pope Francis saying to everybody, because we need a change that will unite us all. And I think that's the most important thing. And that's what we need right now, being united. America needs to be united, the world needs to be united, everybody needs to be united. United in front of the invisible enemy that we call pandemic, in front of the disasters that we already created with the climate change. And only together we can make things different. Only together we can preserve this home and as one big human family continue to live together.
Yeah, that's a powerful message. I mean, I love the film. I urge everyone to check it out. Definitely inspired me, gave me a lot of hope. Hopefully everyone will have the chance to see it. And my last question to you, Evgeny, even though I love talking to you, can talk to you all day, is what's next for you? What are your plans, if you're willing to share? What are you working on?
You know what, right now, today, the biggest thing is to deliver this message, because if I will not be able to change hearts and minds of some people and stop certain atrocities, like I said, who knows if tomorrow I will have the audience to watch the movies, because we will disappear. So I guess right now the main thing is to bring this movie to the millions of people, and also to educate the younger generation and the generation of future leaders. And we're planning to bring this movie to the universities, to the colleges, to the schools, so people can learn the true role model of humanity that Pope Francis resembling in himself. Because he is resembling exactly everything what Jesus Christ was trying to do for the people. And I think the gestures, the human gestures that we see in this humble person is the true gestures that Jesus Christ tried to bring to the world. And you hear this from the Jewish boy who literally preparing to celebrate Pesach or Passover. And I think, you know what, it's also very symbolic that actually this Sunday that the movie is getting out to the bigger world is also the first day of Easter for the Catholic world, and the first day of the Passover for the Jewish world. For the first time, we see they both starting out of the gate in the same time. And I guess that's also another beautiful sign. Like Pope Francis said, trust the God, trust the process, and be patient.
That is absolutely amazing. And what a great way to end our interview. And thank you so much, Evgeny. It was a pleasure. And I can't wait to see what you have next. And good luck. And for everyone, please check out the film and take care.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.